Right, our last amendment of the first 10 amendments in the Bill of Rights of the Constitution. The 10th Amendment is the Federalism Amendment. This one clearly states any powers not given to the national government are given to the states. This is where the Anti-Federalist made their point. It's where they drove home the expectation that the federal government would not take away all of the powers from the states. This is their way of making sure that that federal government never becomes the tyrannical government that they experienced under Great Britain. So according to the 10th Amendment, if the powers are not given to the federal government, if it is not specifically written in the Constitution as belonging to the federal government, meaning Congress, the president of or the judicial branch, then those powers that are not mentioned automatically go to the states. Now, even though the 10th Amendment exists, it is important that you understand that this has been a struggle between the federal government and the states throughout our history. This is known as states' rights, and the states will continue to argue this from the time the Bill of Rights are added into the Constitution all the way to 2016. It is still an issue that we deal with. It has not gone away. So we've discussed federalism multiple times. We've talked about the division of power. So what you're looking at here in this next slide is the division of power in what is actually federalism. So powers delegated to the national government, those are going to be the sections here in blue. And the powers that are reserved to the states are going to be those that are located here in red. And then, of course, you have the powers that are concurrent. This means that both the federal government and the states hold these powers. So on the blue side, the federal government or national government can declare war, create and maintain armed forces, establish foreign policy, regulate interstate and foreign trade, make copyright and patent laws, establish postal offices, and coin money. Those powers reserved to the states include establishing local governments, maintaining and establishing schools, regulating trade within a state, conducting elections, and providing for the public safety within the state boundary. The concurrent powers, the ones that they both possess, is the ability to tax the people, provide for the public welfare, the criminal justice system. If you are the federal government, you have the FBI, the CIA, Homeland Security. But if you are the state government, you have local police officers, sheriffs, constables, and state troopers. Both can borrow money, both can charter banks, and both can build roads, keeping in mind that the federal government is in charge of interstate roads, and that means those roads that go across state lines, while the states are intrastate roads, meaning anything that is within their boundaries. Now, you don't have to copy this down completely, but I would suggest that you do some of it because this does not go away. We will continue to talk about federalism and states' rights throughout our history until we are done with this class. So please keep that in mind. And if you need to, at this point, simply pause the video if you have some in class that would like to write this in their notebook so that they have it for their notes. Also keep in mind that the PowerPoint is up on my webpage under the Bill of Rights in the helpful documents. Next, we are moving into your assignment for today. So today's assignment, now that you have completed the Bill of Rights, is an essay, and it's actually two paragraphs minimum. In an essay, you're going to choose an amendment from the first 10 amendments that we've gone over the last couple of days that you think we could repeal from the Constitution. In other words, of the 10 amendments, one of them we don't need it anymore. We could take it out. It's an unnecessary rule. You must, however, explain which one it is you're choosing and why you think we could eliminate it from the document. The next part of the assignment is you're going to add an amendment to the Constitution that you believe is missing from the first 10. Explain why you think it should be added. Justify your reasoning with facts and logic, not with emotion. Minimum of 2 paragraphs. Justify your answer, and each paragraph must be between 5 and 7 sentences. Please keep in mind that does not mean you only write two paragraphs. If you choose to, you may write more so that you are clear in your argument as to what exactly is supposed to happen and why it is that you want that particular amendment to be added to the Constitution, or why an amendment needs to be taken out of the Constitution. So keep in mind, for those of you who may have to complete this at home for homework, it will be online for you so that you will have all of the instructions you need and there will be no issues with you not knowing what it is you're supposed to do. Remember, it'll be under helpful documents and you'll click on the Bill of Rights, which should be the very first link that you come across. Now, that being said, please keep in mind that as you've been going through this, you should be creating your questions for your Cornell notes, but you should also be looking at ways that you can create your interactive cafe products over the last couple of weeks that we've been working on this stuff. Because remember, one, it provides you with another way to study, but it also gives you a focal point so that you can start working on the assignment for the Interactive Cafe, because I will be collecting these again after the Thanksgiving break. So it'll cover unit constitution and unit government, and you'll need to have your appropriate Interactive Cafe activities to create your 100 points. Some of you took zeros for it this last time around, so I would suggest that you take the time and focus on this stuff. Now, our guest teacher, Miss Mueller, also has another activity for you. So when you finish with the essay, please don't think that you have time to visit and hang out with one another, because there is another assignment coming. Now, I hope you have gotten all your notes and that it was beneficial to have Miss Klein's voice teaching you this stuff as is normal. If you have any questions for me, just remember to write them in your notebook or on a post-it and save them. And when I get back on Tuesday, we can discuss any issues that you may have had with concepts or ideas in regard to the upcoming assignments. I will see you on Tuesday.